Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp,
Okay.
and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay,
Okay.
about regarding saying Rymir needs to go away, little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there
Right.
with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back door.
Jay-Z's first daughter and son reveals how Beyonce banned them all. Let's be real, this was never supposed to get out. For years, the Carter empire has lived by one rule: silence is power, but it looks like the silence just cracked. Because Jay-Z's alleged daughter, Letitia Macer, and alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, yeah, they're done being quiet. And what they're revealing, it's the kind of thing that could shatter everything Jay and Beyoncé built, allegedly. And for the first time, all fingers point to Beyonce for some reason we are about to spill.
Some of the things that she was doing, a woman would not, she would have some sort of role in what her husband does. And if she was secure with herself and with the situation, not saying you gotta like it, she would help her husband handle it.
Right.
Because this is a Black community.
Now, if you didn't know, Letitia is 29, has 4 kids of her own, and says she spent her entire life being told that Jay-Z is her biological father. According to her, this isn't some wild rumor she cooked up for attention. Her entire family has known for decades, and they're backing her up. We're talking aunts, cousins, old friends, people who claim they were in the room when Jay-Z was allegedly seeing her mother, Lisa, back in Cambridge, Maryland. According to them, this wasn't a one-time thing. Jay and Lisa used to meet up at Lisa's sister's apartment. They chilled, laughed, played cards, and eventually Lisa got pregnant. When she tried to contact Jay through Rockefeller Records, she allegedly got mocked by the person who answered the phone. Classic gatekeeping. And now, decades later, Letitia has had enough. In 2020, she launched an Instagram account called @Jay'sFirstDaughter, dropped a video edit of what she claimed was a DNA test, and told the world she was done hiding. Her words: "Everyone in this town knew who my father was. I just kept it together. I raised my kids. I worked 2 jobs, prison and hospital shifts, and still went to school. I never chased fame. I just wanted the truth." Allegedly, Jay-Z even bought her a house in Cambridge, but only under one condition: no photos of him on the wall, no press, no public statements. She reportedly signed an NDA and took the deal. But now that her mother's health is failing and the money's allegedly stopped flowing, she's talking. And just when this story started heating up, guess who re-entered the chat? Rymir Satterthwaite, Jay-Z's other alleged child. The one who's been fighting in court for over a decade, begging for a paternity test and allegedly getting stonewalled at every turn. Both of them same age bracket, same timeline, same accusations, and the same eerie silence from Jay-Z and Beyonce. But what if the silence wasn't mutual? What if Beyonce was allegedly the one enforcing it? That's what some insiders are claiming, and it's about to get messy. So here's where it gets dark. According to people close to Letitia, and even Jay-Z's alleged old friend Oschino, there was an agreement. A house, a quiet deal, a non-disclosure agreement. Jay-Z allegedly gave T a place to live, paid her bills, maybe even supported her mother, who's now in a wheelchair. But the trade-off was silence. She wasn't allowed to talk about him, not to the press, not to the public, not even to Rymir, who says she ghosted him right after they connected to compare stories.
I understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. She continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even till I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is, like, because I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like, I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that.
And let's be honest, the silence wasn't just about Jay, because behind the curtain, allegedly, Beyonce had her fingerprints on everything. Multiple sources, including folks from Jay's inner circle, say Queen Bee was not playing about this. She didn't want Jay's other kids anywhere near the spotlight. Let's be real, this is Beyonce we're talking about, a brand, a billion-dollar image. She built her empire on control, perfection, and public adoration. So the idea of not 1 but 2 secret children crawling out of the shadows, that's not just messy, it's dangerous to everything she's built, allegedly. And if you're thinking, wait, wouldn't Bee be above all that? Well, let's rewind. Remember her own half-siblings? She allegedly wants nothing to do with them either. Her father, Matthew Knowles, had a daughter named Coy with a woman named Takoya Branscombe. He denied the child until a DNA test confirmed it, 99.9%. Then he had a son named Nixon with another woman, Alexandra Wright. That child ended up living in a homeless shelter because Matthew refused to pay child support. And Beyonce Beyonce was silent through it all. And so now people are asking, if she won't acknowledge her own siblings, what makes you think she'd let Jay parade his alleged daughter and son around? Some even say Beyonce allegedly pressured Jay-Z to stay away. And in Letitia's case, they say she was only supported as long as she kept quiet. Now that her mother's sick and the funds have allegedly dried up, she's unraveling, posting more, saying more, and the question everyone's whispering becomes louder. Is Beyonce the reason Jay-Z cut off his daughter? Because if that's true, and it's a big if, then what we're watching isn't just a family scandal, it's a cover-up. And Letitia isn't alone in that silence, because while she was allegedly muzzled with an NDA, Jay-Z's other alleged child, Rymir, was out here fighting a whole legal war. And allegedly Beyonce's name once again kept popping up in his courtroom drama too.
Right. I mean, it could be a coincidence, may not be, who knows? But
yeah,
people were saying that she's a big part of the problems for him.
This whole time, people thought Jay was just dodging a DNA test. Like maybe he was embarrassed, or maybe it was pride, or maybe he just didn't want the headlines. But when you hear how old Rymir's mom was when she says they hooked up, the whole vibe changes. And she was 16. Her name was Wanda. She's gone now, passed away. But before she died, she allegedly put it in writing, sworn affidavit, that she and Jay-Z were involved when she was 16. According to her, he moved her from Philly to Brooklyn. She said they hooked up in his apartment, and now her son is the one asking Jay-Z to take responsibility. This ain't about child support. It's not about clout. It's not even about the Carter name. This is a grown man trying to figure out who he is because his mom died telling him that Jay-Z is his father, and he's not backing down. And
really, why you, what is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with. I work every day. I also have my own kids to take care of. So it's like, it's been a journey for me, and it's just like, you know, I just got so much on my name right now. I never ask for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I work for everything. I work for everything. Next is I'm just trying to basically make sure no other kids or nobody else in the world has to go through this. Basically, don't feel afraid to go to court and see if a person is your biological parents.
Now here's where it loops back to Beyonce, because all that time people thought Jay was just being cold or distant or cautious, but then folks around the situation started saying Beyonce's the one telling him not to engage. Not because she's scared of some kid popping up, but because of what that kid represents. If the timeline adds up, then Jay had a relationship with someone underage. And suddenly this isn't just a paternity dispute, it's a legal problem, a legacy problem, a reputation nightmare. And Beyonce doesn't play about image, never has. She's already watched her own father embarrass the entire Knowles family with secret kids, lawsuits, child support scandals, and half-siblings she never talks about. That whole situation was messy. So when it came to Jay's skeletons, she wasn't about to let those hit the surface. So Rymir kept getting blocked. The lawyers stopped responding. The court system twisted up. He says people tried to intimidate him, showed up where he lived, even threatened him after he filed the civil suit. He's still standing, still pushing for the test, still saying, like, why is it so hard for a billionaire to swab his cheek and be done with this? And you know what's wild? He and Letitia actually talked for a bit, thought maybe they were siblings, compared notes, took an ancestry test, and then suddenly she went quiet, stopped answering, communication just ended. And if you've been paying attention, you already know what likely happened. She signed something. That's the pattern. First they speak up, then they disappear. Letitia came out swinging, called herself Jay-Z's first daughter, made videos, posted family stories, even showed what she claimed was DNA evidence. And people believed her, not just because of what she was saying, but because the story had weight. Too many people from her family were saying the same thing. Too many details matched up. Then out of nowhere, quiet, no more updates, no more DNA talk, no more digging. And around the same time, whispers started coming in that Jay had bought her a house, bills paid, mortgage covered, but the price was a non-disclosure agreement. No interviews, no mentions, no photos of him in the house, just silence. You want to live comfortably? Then keep your mouth shut. And you know who people say helped make that deal happen. Beyonce, because let's be honest, this isn't just Jay-Z's mess. If the world confirms beyond reasonable doubt that he's got not one but two grown kids out here, one from a woman who was allegedly underage at the time, it's not just a scandal for him, it's a problem for them, their image, their empire, the brand they've built. So what does Beyonce do? Allegedly steps in and locks it all down, cuts the checks, signs the contracts, keeps it moving. She's been in this game too long to let something like this slip through. But here's the thing, it's already slipping. Because Letitia didn't didn't stay quiet forever. Once her mom's health took a turn, once the money allegedly stopped coming in, she started posting again. A little less careful this time, a little more emotional, and you could feel it, the frustration, the resentment, the hurt of being hidden. And at the same time, Rymir's case starts heating back up. After years of back and forth, he finally gets a court to listen. A judge says Jay-Z may actually have to submit a DNA test. No more dodging, no more lost paperwork, just a straight up answer. That's when people started connecting the dots. Two alleged kids, same age range, same kind of silence, same kind of shutdown, and the same woman allegedly behind both. Because if Beyonce really is the one pulling those strings, then maybe this was never just about damage control. Maybe it was about keeping Jay-Z's past from staining her future. But here's what she didn't count on: both of them talking at the same time. Now the internet's paying attention. The story's out, and the one thing Beyonce's team can't control: public opinion. This isn't about clout anymore. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that after all these years, the silence doesn't work like it used to. Because now Letitia's talking again. Rymir's case is back in court, and for the first time, people are starting to believe what they've both been saying all along, that Jay-Z has other children. And Beyonce allegedly made sure the world never found out. You can feel the shift. Jay used to be untouchable. Beyonce was too perfect to question. But now, fans are side-eyeing the power couple narrative. Because if even half of this is true, then they've been lying through their teeth for decades, smiling in photo ops, raising 3 kids while allegedly ignoring 2 others, silencing women, buying NDAS, using lawyers to erase people like they were problems to be handled, not family to be acknowledged. And what makes it worse is the pattern. Beyonce's own half-siblings, she doesn't speak to them either. Matthew Knowles had 2 other children, both of whom had to fight just to prove they existed. One of them ended up in a homeless shelter. The other one watches the sister he's never met live 10 minutes away in a mansion. And there's a coldness there, an edge that fans don't like to admit exists. But now that it's out in the open, it's hard to ignore. Because it's not just one situation, it's 3. Rymir, Letitia, Malik, all with the same ending, silence. And what's wild is Beyonce and Jay-Z even threw shade in public. There's a lyric in one of Jay's songs that mocked him. Everyone thought it was clever, but imagine being Rymir and hearing that. Imagine begging someone to acknowledge you only to be turned into a punchline.
So the lyric in her song, do you remember the name of the song?
I don't. So there was 2 songs. One, Rymir, help me with this.
It's hurt. I think one is Heard About Us.
That was the one that you and Jay-Z went back on. He said something for the 99th time, the kid ain't mine, or something like that.
Billie Jean in his prime, for the 1,000th time, the kid ain't mine.
Rymir went and did his thing about stacks. But in between that, supposedly there was another song that she said, go away, little boy, go away, little boy.
And what about Letitia? She raised 4 kids by herself, worked 2 jobs, lived her whole life hearing Jay-Z is your father from people who were there when it happened. And when she finally spoke out, she got silence, then a house, then the cold shoulder. Now ask yourself this: if Jay-Z really thought he wasn't the father, why not take the test? Why go to court for 10 years to avoid a simple answer? Why pay lawyers instead of just proving them wrong? Because the truth is, he probably already knows the answer, and so does Beyonce. And the only thing more important to them than the truth? The brand. But brands break, empires crack, secrets rot everything from the inside out. And once the public starts asking questions, there's only so long you can keep pretending. So what happens next? Does the test finally come back? Does Rymir get closure? Does Letitia speak again? Does Beyonce keep fighting to protect the image? Or does the whole Carter legacy fall apart in real time? Because if even one of these kids is telling the truth, this isn't just a scandal. It's a reckoning.